What if you got a second chance at something you've always wanted to do? Perhaps go back to school, start a business? Well, whatever the dream, second chances are great opportunities to try again. In this Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine, we explore the journey of some persons who, through government support, have been able to do this. Welcome, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Also in today's show, we look at how the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, JFLL, is changing lives. And later we turn to Men with a Message movement. Stay tuned for what will be an inspirational and informative half hour. We kick things off with this message.
The Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH offers a wide range of benefits for students. Children on PATH are among the top achievers in the GSAT and CSEC examinations each year.
It gives me a sense of stability and it takes some stress off my parents because even though they're working and money might not be enough, it helps them to send me to school.
If your family is struggling, PATH might be the option for you. Just take your birth certificate and valid identification to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security office in your parish. For further information, visit the Minister's website at www.mlss.gov.jm or call 1-888-991-PATH. That is 1-888-991-7284.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, September 20. Government is marking the 2017-2018 school year for the launch of an initiative linking the Halfway Tree Transport Center and schools in the corporate area by way of closed-circuit television (CCTV). Education Minister Ruel Reid made the disclosure Tuesday following a tour of the transport center.
My ministry will be partnering with all the other stakeholders to make sure we get that feed into the ministry and eventually into the schools. Because as I said, that schools already have surveillance camera system, transportation center has, and we just need to have an integrated system so we all can have a better monitoring of the system, both for the safety of the students and the users of the transport center and ensure that there is good discipline that is taking place in this public space.
Calling the tour an excellent exercise, the minister said he was able to make an assessment of the level of discipline based on first-hand knowledge. Senator Reid added that he would be making another unannounced visit to the transport center on a Friday afternoon in the near future. The education curriculum has been realigned to include more technology-based options as the ministry seeks to ensure the nation's young people are equipped to face the changing needs of society. State Minister for Youth Floyd Green shared the details at the United Nations Development Programme's Social Good Summit held on Monday at the Spanish Court Hotel in New Kingston. Minister Green said 12,000 teachers have been trained to implement the system for rollout in primary and secondary schools.
We're integrating technology into the ecosystem that includes the instructional delivery and the ongoing assessments, appropriate interventions, and tracking of outcomes and of learning. A curriculum that infuses technology in every aspect. A curriculum that says to our students, we are putting you at the center of education. That we want to ensure that when you are finished this course of study, not only are you able to pass exams, but you are able to critically think, to assess, to manipulate the technology for all our social good.
The Social Good Summit examined the impact of technology and new media on social initiatives around the world. It also highlighted current technology solutions and concepts that address development challenges. Government has reiterated its commitment to privatizing garbage collection and disposal operations on the island. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie says this would include the management of state-run disposal sites, such as Riverton City in Kingston and Retirement in St. James. Minister McKenzie was addressing journalists on Friday following a tour of sections of Marcus Garvey Drive, which were flooded recently.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority will return to its core function as the regulatory arm. So that means they will be free
Meanwhile, the minister advised that additional garbage trucks are expected to arrive by year-end into early 2017, with more to be acquired thereafter. He said instructions have been given for private trucks to be hired to assist where the need is identified island-wide. An enterprise team in the Ministry of Tourism is now working to increase Jamaica's presence as one of the world's major gastronomy destinations. That team is led by former president of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Nicola Madden-Gregg. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the island will be tapping into the $150 billion business of fusing food, culture, music, sports, and entertainment.
We want to increase the tourism spend. We want to earn more tourism dollars.
Minister Bartlett was speaking recently at the official opening of the first franchise of Usain Bolt's Tracks and Records in Oterius, St. Anne. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is in New York representing Jamaica's interests at the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly. The Prime Minister left the island on Monday and returns this Saturday, September 24. Mr. Holness will be delivering Jamaica's statement paper under the theme, The Sustainable Development Goals, a Universal Push to Transform Our World. While there, the Prime Minister will be meeting with members of the Jamaican diaspora and hold bilateral talks with world leaders. Prime Minister Holness will also attend the Clinton Global Initiative and deliver a keynote address at Columbia University. In his absence, Dr. Horace Chang will be in charge of the government. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thank you for watching.
Maybe you dropped out of high school because you got pregnant or your parents couldn't afford it. There could be a number of reasons. Maybe you didn't even get to attend high school. Don't despair. There's hope. The government, through the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, has provided a platform where many adult learners are able to access programs of study ranging from basic literacy and numeracy up to the level of CSEC subjects in a variety of disciplines. Learn more in the upcoming feature.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, said Nelson Mandela. This quote rings true for many Jamaicans who have been given a new lease on life through the work of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, JFLL. Formerly known as JAMAL, JFLL was established in 1974 for one major purpose:
the opportunity of providing a second chance to adult learners to be able to, one, be just to read your Bible. Come to us. If it is that you want to have a better job, if you want to transition to post-secondary education, we are the place for that.
Fortunately, that objective is being realized in the lives of many adults, with Jamaica's adult literacy rate in 2016 being 87%. At the institution's inaugural Power Breakfast in September 2016, Jamaicans were exposed to the stories of two adults who have realized their full potential through the work of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning. Meet 59-year-old Raphael Young.
I am thankful for this program, JFLL. It has changed my life and developed my reading skill so that I can read. When I heard of the program were coming to my community, I was very glad and I welcome the program. I made an assessment. When I joined the class, I was in grade 1 with a workbook named A Day with the Sharp, a first reader for adult published by Jamal Foundation. When I did my numeracy test, I end level 1 and in level 2 and take the test again and end level 2 and in level 3 and further on. The class allow me now to able to read the star so that I can read the good and bad news.
Raphael, a proud graduate of the program. It's good news also for the stakeholders at a time when the institution is entering more adult learners in the CSEC external examinations.
People told us that we could not take learners who couldn't read and write and get them up to CSEC level and let them pass CSEC subjects in 2 years. They were absolutely wrong. This year, we had about 167 learners across our network, who most came to us reading as our grade 2 child would have read. And we worked with them. And 47 of those learners decided to sit 5 subjects straight. And right now, we're getting in the results. We have so far 15 of the 47 who have completed and passed 5 subjects.
Among the bright students, 47-year-old grandmother Veronica Robinson Malcolm.
My educational ambition got disrupted when I got pregnant at a tender age of 15 years old. I dropped out of regular school at grade 10. In spite of that setback, I was determined to further my education. I heard about the JFLL program by way of a JS program. I took up the pleasure of applying there, which I was enrolled, and now I have 5 CXC subjects, 6 JSE subjects. Thanks. My children have all grown. I am now a proud grandmother of 4. The experience of JFLL was phenomenal. The interaction as a student, president of the student council, the teachers, the administrative body, and the clerical staff. Honestly, I can't tell you how good it was. I am a true example of this old saying, you are never too old to learn.
Never too old to learn, a sentiment advocated by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
That is a message that we want to get out there. Because we want every adult to not only be fully literate, but to be trained and certified at the highest level. It helps very often with the education system in terms of the generation. The more parents are educated, the more their children also are educated. It works. All adults I'd love in Jamaica to make lifelong learning a culture.
As JFLL continues to modernize, the way ahead is clear.
We will be intensifying our effort to identify and secure strategic partnerships to support JFLL's mandates. Target areas with high pockets that are in need of remedial support to guide program expansion, to interface with the Ministry of Education and other ministries, departments and agencies, international development partners, and the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning to further our reach into these areas.
So, if you're an adult looking for a second chance at learning, forget the naysayers, embrace the change.
A lot of people try to disencourage me, say I'm too old to go to the school. There are many voices, including the voice of your family member and friend, with some negative word that will lead you astray. But don't listen to those voices. Don't give up just because of what someone said. Use that as a motivation to push harder.
For further information on the programs offered by the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, visit their website at jfll.gov.jm or call 928-5181.
This is Romain Virgo. I'm here to appeal to all of the youths them to just stay away from crime and violence. We know the temptation, the money, the fast life. People say them rate you. But that will only take you nowhere. If you stay in school and focus, then you can achieve anything. Be your own leader. A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Earlier we mentioned second chances and how it's a great opportunity to try again. Well, this gift was given to men who were once incarcerated. They now have used it as a springboard to touch the lives of many. Take a look.
I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise.
I was like a rebellion against the system, but that never was the way, Virgin.
I was convicted and sent to prison. Spent 14 years on death row, only see 5 minutes of sunlight each day for 14 years. I was taken to the gallows and was supposed to be hung. Twice they built coffin for me and twice they dig hole. But God knows best.
Men who have made wrong choices in their past.
These are men who were either incarcerated or persons who were informal enforcers, as we say in Jamaica. These were persons who had no regard for law and order, who have actually, by whatever means possible, by whatever stimuli, have actually decided that they don't want that life anymore. They want to actually be positive role models in society.
Now they are sharing their experiences with the determination of reaching out to the youths and even their peers to not make the same mistakes they did. And by so doing, they are helping to restore and preserve the society's value system, thus securing the rock with their message.
Changetown youths, top up love, delete violence. Things take time to do if you take time to do it. Changetown youths, focus, take life serious.
We are trying to help them to realize that crime and violence is not something that is good. It's something that will destroy the society and the entire family. And once the family is destroyed, then the society will be destroyed.
Men with a Message is an initiative out of the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP. The group, which consists of 10 men, was identified by CSJP's community action officers from among the program's many participants. Having received vocational and skills training, placed in jobs and managed to maintain clean police records for at least 2 years, the young men successfully navigated the interview process and were made ready for their mission. Armed with a different attitude, these men are now fighting against the same plague that once struck them: crime, violence, and lack of education.
To live a better life and to act in a better manner, education is the surest guarantee for a better life. You can't constantly do something when not giving you a good result. That's madness. That was how I define badness. So who I run down badness and madness. Because I was in it, so now listen keenly. So any man out there come for you, so me I go to the eye there, all them can get to know.
It is reported that young men between the ages of 15 and 25 are most vulnerable to criminal activities. So, as part of the CSJP's initiatives within volatile communities, Men with a Message have been going into youth clubs and schools through the Safe Schools program to deliver their message of transformation.
I definitely want these youngsters to understand that crime on our whole is not something that they should want to indulge in. We know we cannot totally eliminate crime and violence from the society, but at least we can help to minimize it to a tolerable level.
Principals have actually reported that after Men with a Message have come and spoken to the students, delinquent students have actually been the ones now to curb the other students. There have actually been cases where students have been collecting knives from other students as a result of Men with a Message coming and speaking to them.
It doesn't have to be that we have gunmen around and so on, but it has to be that they understand that when they become men themselves, they have to become men of standard, men of worth, men of value. And that is what our society needs. And so many of these boys lack seeing men who are role models in this way.
I would like to see from this program youth getting the benefit that I know is there, because I am also a recipient of the program.
The common good of the society of Jamaica, which should always be the new name of justice, cannot be achieved by means of violence, because violence destroys what we intend to create.
These may seem like just words, but not to these men. With the CSJP operating in 50 communities, the men are spreading their message that change is possible and that the cycle of violence and underachievement from the inner city can be broken. And they are also living testimonies that the CSJP's programs actually work.
Jamaica, join with us to secure the rock. Top up love, delete violence. Jamaica youths, blessed love.
I'm on the road, I'm on the road.
We have championed e-learning in Jamaica, provided state-of-the-art technology in over 200 educational institutions, developed materials for CSEC, piloted the Tablets in Schools project in 38 schools, including infant and primary, and trained thousands of teachers in technology integration. We are e-Learning Jamaica Company Limited, ELJAM, an agency of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. Visit our website www.elearnja.org.
As we continue to observe Prostate Cancer Awareness Month this September, we encourage our men 40 years and older to get their prostate checked. Why is this important? Let's hear the views from our friends out the road.
We can live with cancer and don't know, so I think it's good to check up, but not just prostate, but other stuff, but you can live with it and don't know.
All that age, it will really affect you worse way. So try to get it done more earlier as possible. More better for you in a longer future.
Well, for once, doctor normally say early diagnosis is important. But we all know how prostate cancer is checked for. And in our society with homophobia, say a lot of people now want to do it, So I guess sometime I'm going to make some statistics that more Jamaican men died from prostate cancer more than a lot of other peoples because we don't want to get it checked. And honestly, we kind of feel like we have to go get it checked too.
It is important for them to get checked before at a certain age, miss. So that if it reach at any stage, miss, it can be controlled before it reach at a higher stage. Or, miss, death come quicker or something like that, miss.
It's very important, right? Because they want to know, once you know, then you can, take it from there,
Because it's their health. For them own good, so them know what's going on with them, and them can't see the inside.
Well, it's for the, I guess, general health of men over 40. Yes, and it's basically taking a preventative measure for that kind of cancer there. So I think it's very important.
Over 40, maybe the older they get, it will affect them more, so the earlier it is detected and cure, it's best for them.
Hi, I'm Chris Tufton, Jamaica's Minister of Health. Zika virus threatens all of us, but as individuals, we have the power to protect ourselves. 75% of mosquito breeding sites are found in and around our homes. So if we all do our part in getting rid of these mosquito breeding sites, we will reduce the risk of becoming infected. It's our responsibility. Individual action is key. Let's fight ZIKV.
Today's HealthWise explores the Zika virus, its symptoms, treatment, and prevention.
Zika is a disease caused by a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The virus was first isolated in 1945 during a study of wild yellow fever in a rhesus monkey in the Zika forest in Uganda. It was isolated in humans in 1952 and detected in human blood samples 16 years later. Over the years, there have been outbreaks of Zika virus fever in Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Islands, and more recently in the Americas. Jamaica had one case, its first in late January 2016, reported in a young child who had recently traveled overseas. The Zika virus is spread when a female Aedes aegypti mosquito gets infected by feeding on someone with the virus and later transferring it to the other people it bites. This breed of mosquito is common in Jamaica and is also a vector for dengue and chikungunya. Recent information has suggested that Zika may also be spread through sexual contact, though rare. Symptoms of Zika are similar to those of dengue and chikungunya. They commonly include fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. Other symptoms are muscle pain, headache, pain behind the eyes, and vomiting. Zika symptoms are usually mild, lasting from several days to a week, and most severe cases are usually linked to persons with other pre-existing conditions.
We are clear that infants, the elderly, and persons with non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, arthritis, and so on, compromised immune systems are at greater risk for more symptoms, and so we urge that special effort be made to protect this group in particular.
To date, no deaths attributed to Zika virus infection have been reported in any of the outbreaks.
But we certainly recognize that other complications like Guillain-Barré syndrome may be present, and we are equipped at this time to manage any such case that would be coming up in the near future.
That complication, which is rare, occurs when the immune systems of infected persons make antibodies to try to destroy the virus, which then cross-reacts with proteins on nerve cells called dendrites, damaging these nerves.
The only way now to treat that is to filter your blood from your own antibodies. We call it plasmapheresis.
Tell your healthcare provider if you have recently traveled.
It's a class 1 notifiable. They must notify us. It's a class 1 notifiable disease, so within 24 hours of suspecting, then they need to send forward that patient for blood work.
Once the Ministry of Health is advised, that blood sample will be sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency for lab testing free of cost to the patient. There is no vaccine to prevent or medicine to treat Zika, but the symptoms can be treated. This involves getting plenty of rest, drinking fluids to prevent dehydration, and taking medicines such as paracetamol to relieve fever and pain. Aspirin and other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs should be avoided until dengue can be ruled out to reduce the risk of hemorrhage. First reported in Brazil, recent Zika outbreaks have been linked to increased cases of microcephaly in newborn babies whose mothers were infected early in their pregnancy.
This is merely what they call a temporal association, so there's no scientific evidence at this time to suggest causation. And so there's a little that we know and a lot that we don't know. But based on the potential outcome of the child, microcephaly, significant brain damage, with subsequent loss of life possibly, and certainly a decreased quality of life, we think it's warranted to warn women to, if they can, prevent getting pregnant at this time. We review that as the information comes out.
Women who are pregnant or planning to become pregnant are also urged to be vigilant against being bitten by mosquitoes. The World Health Organization is researching claims that mothers already infected with Zika can pass on the virus to their newborns around the time of birth. As for transmission through breastfeeding, there have been no such reports to date. Zika is a threat to everyone, and we must all do our best to prevent the spread by destroying the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito and avoid getting bitten.
That's a wrap on today's show. Keep informed through our website, jis.gov.jm, and continue to connect with us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of the hardworking JIS production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching Jamaica Magazine.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.